Welcome back to Witchy Wednesday. I hope that everyone has stayed safe and that you are having an amazing beginning of December and had an amazing November. I hope that everyone was able to enjoy any time off they had for the holidays and was able to, spend time, whether virtually or not, with their families. We had a great little nice break in the weekend, so we're back at it. This week we are going to talk about manifestation and lucid dreaming. I think that they both go hand in hand. I'm not going to go super deep into either, but I am going to give you a little overview. I'm going to give you some tips and tricks and leave you with a little bit of nugget knowledge, if you will, to take into your own life and try. A lot of this is very personal because it is of the mind. So let's start with manifestation. This is something that has been growing in popularity recently, and I think that it's getting a little distorted, so let's reel it back in. Manifestation is just you putting something out into the universe and drawing that into you. So I know I've seen recently on TikTok a girl being like, I'm about to manifest this car into my life. Look, next day I woke up, that car was there. And you're like, okay. This is more so going to be something that is between, you choosing things that are right for you and that align with the overall purpose of the universe, as well as choosing something to really have a confidence in that you are going to achieve. And that is not to mean that you should not manifest large things in your life. That is to mean that you walk into the situation with confidence. That is like number one in the how-to in manifestation, is sitting down and saying, yes, I'm going to have X, Y, and Z, okay? Some people do that with what's called scripting, which is, basically journaling, writing as if this has already happened to you, what those experiences look like, what they feel like, how does it feel to get that? What does it feel to live with it, experience it, whatever it may be. And so some people do that written. Some people do that in an artistic way, like vision boards. Hello, we all remember vision boards and the rage that they had, and I think still have in a lot of people's lives. But vision boards are manifestation. You are taking something, you are saying, I'm going to have this in my life, and you are putting it in front of yourself, basically as a self-affirmation, that every choice you make, whether you're consciously saying, I'm making these choices because I want this career, or if they are, unconscious choices that you're making because you're constantly reminding yourself every time you look at that vision board that that's what you're working towards, both are going to happen for you, but that is a part of that manifestation is visual. Another great way is self-affirmations. We talked about that, right? So some people want to manifest physical objects. Some people want to manifest things like having a better connection with themselves or having a deeper connection with someone else, family member, loved one. And a lot of that is going to be internal, like self-affirmations, whether it's, verbally out loud or it's something that you're doing in meditation. That is a part of manifestation as well, is knowing what it is that you're trying to go for and, saying to yourself that you can do that. You can have that in your life. You are worthy of having that in your life. And you are going to find that you start to make these decisions and these moves around your chessboard to help you gain those things. That's really what's happening here. It's not you sitting down and being like, oh, I really need that BMW. And then the universe being like, girl, you asked, here it is. That is not how this works. This is a, deep-rooted in other psychological terms. But this is of the mind. This is you knowing exactly what you want, knowing that it is good for you, and having the confidence that you're going to have it in your life. And what ends up happening is when you manifest, right? When you're scribing You're out scripting this. You're saying this is going to be mine. You're making a vision board. You're saying that is going to be mine. You're telling yourself that is going to be mine. You are making your mind make decisions so that you are getting that. And that's because we, I don't know if people are planners on here that follow this, like they like to plan things like in an actual like book, like a planner. But in a lot of planners, you'll notice they'll have things like goals, like overall goals for the week, overall goals for the month. They'll have a section for that. And it's because when you write that down and you see it every day in passing, if you stop for a second and take note, you'll find that you're making little maneuvers in your life that maybe you weren't making before because you're working towards something. And that doesn't necessarily have to be, physical again. That can definitely be something that is spiritual, therapeutic. You could be like, I am going to get over this past trauma. And you are manifesting that healing in your life. And that's because you are gaining the confidence to say that you deserve to get over that trauma and that you're going to move forward with your life. And you're going to make those decisions to move forward. So I want you to, this week, sit down in your journal or, on your phone, make a little widget that has a quote or a photo or whatever. Find something that you want in your life, whether it's soon or whether it's, farther in the future. Put that in front of you and have it somewhere where it's in front of you every day and tell yourself that you're going to achieve that and say it with confidence. Sit down whenever you're meditating. Think about what it feels like to have that closer connection with a loved one. Sit down and think about what it feels like to have healed from your previous trauma. Sit down and think about what it feels like to have that career you've always wanted. And when you're meditating on those things, when you're visually seeing them set aside, when you're putting them in front of yourself in your planner or on your phone, in your calendar, and those things are constantly around you, reminding you of your goals, you are going to manifest those things into your life. It's literally that simple. Okay, you may wonder why I'm doing this one in our bed. Well, one, again, our house is a construction war zone currently. We are doing a ton of remodeling because the baby is on the way. But also lucid dreaming. I personally have always been someone who lucid dreams. It was a way when I was younger that it happened to me in the form of like night terrors and nightmares. And it was something that terrified me, literally, it's in the name. It terrified me because I felt like I wasn't in control of my dreams. And I eventually, as I got a little bit older, realized that lucid dreaming was a thing, that you could control your dreams. You could be in your dreams and make decisions. It didn't have to just play out the way that your mind allowed it. And what ended up happening was when I began to go into those dreams and I went into my sleep with the mindset that I'm going into this dream and I'm aware and I make the decisions in this dream, it allowed me to have kind of this, not virtual, but let's use the word virtual, right? Because it's kind of like a video game up there in your brain. This virtual playground where these scenarios that would come in that were basically relating back to, childhood trauma, that I was able to see that trauma play out, even though those, characters may not have looked the same in real life as they did in my dream. The scenery may not have looked the same. It was the same, and I was being able to be in my dream and deal with that trauma in a physical way in the moment that it was happening that I wasn't able to do then in that situation when that trauma occurred. So I used it initially as a therapeutic thing. I went into these dream states with the idea of, I need to deal with this situation. I need to go into this dream, and for this time, when this happens, I'm in control. I make the decision, and I get to, have a different outcome. I get to have a better outcome. And it helped heal a lot of those. That's a big way that lucid dreaming is used. But it's also used in other ways. You'll notice, some people use it to meet ancestors or spirit guides and things like that. Some people use it to get into a deeper spiritual sense, more like a meditation. And some people literally just use it to have better dreams. So I, later in life, started using lucid dreams. As you know, if you followed me for any period of time, you know that I was a single mom for 6 years. I used to be a bartender at nighttime. I was an athlete during the day. So I, slept very little. So I would always take a nap. I always had like a pre-work nap because the day exhausted me. I needed to move into my night kind of fresh in my mind. And I started using that nap as a way to lucid dream. One, because it was easier to wake myself up to get ready to go to work. And two, because I felt like if I used that nap for a spiritual journey, then it was going to be more meaningful, because I often felt guilty about taking that nap. Oh, I could just have a cup of coffee or a Red Bull or whatever and not take this nap, and I get more done before I go to work. Now, I'm sure my body really needed it, but again, I started using that time to, go into these more spiritual senses. So what I would do was I would get in my bed, and I always did it in my bed because I have pets and they're loud and they move. And when you're lucid dreaming, you will notice things that are around you when you're in your dream, so you can feel them, right? So like if the dog's on the end of the bed and he's moving and I'm in a lucid dream, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm in my bedroom because the dog is moving and he's by my feet. So you'll notice those things. So what I ended up doing was starting to put all the pets out of my room, shut my door, take a nap right before work, so that I knew I was on like kind of like a time restraint a little bit. So it helped me go into a dream state. I don't know if that works better for everyone, but definitely helped me go into a dream state better because I went into it with a purpose. So I sat down in my bed. I would do a tarot reading. And then based on that tarot reading, when I did my tarot reading, I did them on what do I need to work on in my spiritual life? What is it that I need to work on within myself? And then I would go into a lucid dream. I would use binaural beats, literally just off YouTube. You can get it for free. Spotify has them too. So I would binaural beat, do a tarot reading on what I needed to work on myself, lay down, take a nap, and in those short lucid dreams, I, saw a lot of things that, one, made me more curious. So I would wake up with a more creative, curious mind. Things that sometimes were like, oh my God, what am I doing? I have to fix that. And I did them all based off of what my tarot said. That's not necessary. You don't have to do that. You can literally lay down binaural beats and have a lucid dream. Naps, again, are great just because they are a little bit shorter. You aren't going into this deep sleep, and you're able to wake yourself up out of them and journal them. So that was something I also started when I started these lucid dream naps. I would wake up out of that dream state and I would journal what I saw, what I felt, how it made me feel afterwards, all that kind of stuff. And I would work through those things in my mind. And because I had journaled them, they were more fresh in my mind. Whereas if I would have just had a dream while I was napping, I probably would have forgotten about it the moment I got in my car to go to work. So I found that dream journaling was very, very useful for me. Okay, so a couple of things when it comes to lucid dreaming that you can do that are said to help are setting up crystals, herbs, taking specific types of teas, things like that that help you get into that more intuitive state as well as a relaxed state. So I personally, now I can't do this anymore now that I'm pregnant, but I used to lay completely flat on my back and make as little disturbances as I could, get as comfortable as I could before I began. Because when I first started, and I'm sure if you've never done this, you're gonna do it too. When I first started, I would lay down and then I would try to meditate and I'd try to be getting into it, and then I'd be like, I don't like the way my foot is. I need to move my foot. I can't lay here this entire time with my foot propped up like that, or turned this way or whatever. Oh, my hand feels awkward. I have to move that. And I found myself finding ways to keep myself from going into this dream. So instead, I got situated before I ever even turned on the binaural beats. I would get situated, I would relax, I would gently open my eyes, turn on the binaural beats, and then start dreaming. So it was just an easier process for me. You're gonna have to figure out what process works best for you. We all obviously sleep in different ways and get comfortable in different ways, have our own routines, but finding that way that you can relax and stay still and go into this dream is gonna be the best for you. Another thing that is great for you is lavender. I find that Lucid, which is a lavender-based tincture that we have, that with some tea. Now, I do not recommend taking it with caffeine, but lavender with the Lucid, or lavender in general, if you want to light a lavender candle, use lavender oils, things like that. I find that because it is relaxing and helps bring out those third eye intuitions, it is a great tool to use, and I will link that in the description below. It is a great tool to use when trying to go into these lucid dreams. That's why we named it Lucid. And it kind of allows you to have that spiritual vibration that maybe you are still slightly uncomfortable with having. So maybe try that in some tea, no caffeine. Again, preferably because you want to be able to stay less anxious, right? Caffeine gets us all jazzed up and then we're anxious. And you also want to be able to stay still. You want to have a nice, relaxing dream. You want to have the physical benefits of this dream or snap or sleep state that you're in. And you also want the mental benefits of it. So stay away from caffeine right before, get in a really relaxed place, have a routine. Again, my routine was getting rid of everyone, doing a tarot reading, finding a binaural beat, laying down, and being prepared to go into the sleep. I always like to have a tea before. It's not for everyone, but I prefer to have a tea. You know, you may be someone who wants to smoke an herbal blend before. You may be someone who, you know, does this in the bathtub. I've lucid dreamed in the bathtub. You know, find what works best for you. And if it works, take that same routine and apply it again. And apply it again. And eventually it'll get a lot easier for you. And especially if you are dream journaling, you'll find that you will have better recognition of things whenever you go back into your dream. I have a specific woman that I see when I lucid dream, which is wild because one time I had a lucid dream and I woke up from that lucid dream. I was like, who is this woman? I could see her so vividly as if she was right in front of me, and the way that she looked was pressed so deep into my brain. I wrote a description of her into a Google search and I found her. She was a woman that was burned at the stake for being a witch. So I'm just saying, like, you might be going back into some past lives here. So dream journaling is really cool because later you end up getting busy and you're like, oh my God, I wish I could remember what that dream felt like because it made me really feel more creative. Well, if you can go back and read those things, it's going to bring that back up for you. So dream journaling, definitely recommend. Again, if this is something that's hard for you to get into, you're like, what am I going to lucid dream about? Like going into Ready Player One? I don't know. The Oasis? Why don't you start with oracle cards, tarot cards, those kind of things, and do a reading. Allow this dream to be about yourself and about, you know, your internal battles, your spirituality, things like that. And that's an easy approach to go through. So this week, we are going to find one thing to manifest, right? We're going to put it in front of us, something we have to pass every day. We have to see that this is something we're going to manifest. We are going to say it to ourselves, whether that is verbally, you know, in an audible way, or whether that is something that, you know, while you're brushing your teeth, you're dreaming about how you are going to have this beautiful house one day. And you are going to try a lucid dream, whether that is a full-on sleep or whether that is a nap. Give it a go. I'm going to put up Lucid at 10% off for anyone that watches this video and wants to try it. If you are super skeptical of the tinctures, let me know. Send me an email. I'll link my email below, and I can get you a tester of Lucid, and you can give it a try. So I hope you guys have a fantastic week. We will see you back here next Wednesday for Witchy Wednesday. Thanks for joining us.